Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mission by Design. Thank you for joining us today. This might be one of my favorite episodes, primarily because we have IBM with us today. And I used to work at IBM, and I love them very dearly. And we have a great partnership. So, Chris and Joe, thank you for joining today. How do you both feel?
Bayu, it's Chris Shriver. I'm the Senior Partner and Vice President for IBM Consulting for the SLED Industry. I feel wonderful, really excited about today's podcast. Joe, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Bio. Super excited to be here. My name is Joe Kastner. I'm a partner and one Microsoft practice public sector leader within IBM Consulting. Super excited to be here, and thanks for having us, Bio.
Thank you for joining. So this is a timely conversation because, Joe, of course, you came from Nudesic, and recently IBM merged Nudesic into one entity, right? IBM and Nudesic are now one entity. I know the acquisition happened some time ago. Can we set the stage, and can you articulate what is this one Microsoft practice inside IBM, and why has that change happened now?
Absolutely. So I'll just give a quick history of Nudesic for those that may be unaware. Nudesic's been around for about 24 years, founded in 2002 initially as a .NET shop, and over the years grew into a full stack technology consultancy. Throughout that 24 years of existence, we've remained Microsoft pure play technology consultancy, and pride ourselves on our deep expertise and engineering prowess on all things Microsoft. So there was an interesting time happened around right after COVID, actually, where the partners from Nudesic were looking for an exit. At the same time, IBM had a vision of this hybrid cloud strategy. So in 2022, IBM actually acquired Nudesic, and we joined IBM. And throughout that time, we've remained a wholly owned subsidiary. So we've remained, Nudesic and IBM company. And then as of February 1st this past year, we actually got integrated into IBM. So throughout that 4 years, a lot of foundation was being laid within IBM Consulting to establish what is now the one Microsoft practice. And the timing was right to now take all of the greatness from Nudesic and move that into IBM Consulting and build, a even more strategic partnership with Microsoft to help our clients.
Hey, Joe and Bayu, can I add to that? Because from an industry perspective standpoint, this is about really creating a broader and deeper, I'll call it multiplier effect, right? It's about taking the Nudesic value proposition, combining that with the IBM value proposition and scale that allows us to really expand the Microsoft presence with our clients and to grow that business. As I said earlier, I run the industry for IBM from a SLED consulting perspective standpoint. We have projects in 35 states. Our book of business is about $600 million. I have about 50 people that just focus on go-to-market. Combining the strengths of Joe's team with my team with Microsoft should create that multiplier effect. And this is all in alignment with the IBM strategic focus on ecosystem partners, of which Microsoft is the top of the top. So that's my perspective from an industry standpoint.
No. Thank you for sharing that. And can you elaborate a little bit more? Specifically, how are we now, or how is this whole partnership between Microsoft and IBM, and more specifically, rather, the combination of IBM and Nudesic, how are you differentiating yourself with our customers in the field? What additional value have you been able to unlock as a result of the merger of your two teams?
Yeah. Joe, you want to take that?
Sure. So the way I look at this is the three-pronged approach across Microsoft, Nudesic, and IBM. So we together, the together, better together story is essentially that Microsoft has the platform and the client reach. Nudesic brings the engineering excellence and mastery of all things Microsoft technology and industry focus. And then IBM has the broader, global scale, industry expertise, domain knowledge, customer reach, compliance, experience doing these, large scale transformative type of engagements for our clients. So when we pull all of that together, it's actually a huge differentiator for our clients. So you have all of the technical mastery, you have the platform, plus you have the experience doing pretty much any type of transformative project.
Thank you for sharing. And I think, from my personal experience with Udesic and from my experience with IBM as well too, I see holistically how that merger has created a lot of synergy and simplicity as we go to market together, specifically from an industry lens perspective. So we are really excited. Can you elaborate a little bit more around um, who your customers are today and what services does this one Microsoft practice provide them?
Sure. So the way that I look at it, we have three customers. So we have our clients themselves. As a public sector leader, I'm accountable for state, local government, education, healthcare, and life sciences. So those are our customer base, at least from the public sector. However, one Microsoft practice as a whole services, pretty much every industry within IBM Consulting. Then we have Microsoft. So we treat you like a customer, right? We have an amazing partnership. It's a very, mutually beneficial bi-directional partnership. We're, tied at the hip. We're aligned to the same mission to help our clients. And then the third is, internally within IBM. So now, now that we've been integrated into IBM Consulting, there's a lot of evangelism and trying to actually partner with the lead client partners on Chris's team, with the service line leaders, with everybody within this massive ecosystem to now want to partner with us and do the best that we can for our clients using Microsoft technologies.
Thank you,
And
Joe.
Bio, I'd add to that from an IBM Consulting perspective in the SLED industry. The clients that we focus on are obviously state governments, city and county governments, and education units. About 80% of our book of business is focused on state governments. About 15% is on large counties. We do a significant amount of work, as you would imagine, in health and human services, transportation. As Joe said, we bring subject matter expertise, industry domain, and that's how we create that multiplier effect of bringing the best of Joe's team with my team to focus on digital services, cloud transformation, cloud modernization, et cetera, across a variety of different projects.
So,
And
Chris, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to expand on that one more time too, which is interesting. So personally, I come from the private sector where, with experience in other industries, and if you look at the state where we are from a SLED perspective, there's no better time that's more ripe for transformation than right now. So you have citizens, expecting the same type of service that they're getting from the private sector. You have budgets that are being constrained, and you have, um, workforce that's on the verge of burnout, and then all on top of a legacy technology stack in a lot of cases. So how do you kind of optimize for all of these, competing pressures to, essentially build the experience and the platform for tomorrow's citizens? So those are some of the things that we're thinking through, and I'm super excited to take all of that experience within private sector, whether it's in utilities, whether it's in financial services, manufacturing, and then translate those experiences and such into public sector, and really help our SLED clients continue to transform and evolve.
You read my mind, Joe. I was going to ask Chris, what are some of the trends and use cases that you're seeing in the field today from an industry perspective? And if you have any examples of customer success stories that you can share with our audience today.
Yeah, so Bio, it's a great question. We see our clients focused significantly on digital services, that user experience, right? To Joe's point, trying to make it a more commercial type of an experience. We see our clients focused on more efficiencies, workload. How do you modernize legacy sets of applications, all in an effort to drive more efficiencies, simplification, et cetera. Some examples of that, we were just awarded some business in a large state in the Midwest around their child support application, runs on an IBM mainframe. They are looking to modernize that, and we're migrating the code base over to Azure, and then we'll modernize the set of workloads around that and the user experiences on that. We've done work with Microsoft in the state of Arizona around a huge initiative of Department of Child Safety, where we're doing things like automating the caseworker's experience so they can focus on the most important things, the child, the family, the safety, really what needs to happen with that case, and providing some automation around that process to make it easier for them to really focus on what needs to get focused on. Joe, you may have some other examples.
Yeah, absolutely. So in East Coast, we have a couple of interesting projects. One with around utilities benefits. So working with the state to actually help underprivileged families get access to benefits and get reprieve for utilities payments. And this is using Microsoft technologies, largely built on Azure Databricks, as an example. In the middle of the country, we're dealing with helping provide care to almost 2 million customers that previously it would take a long time to get access to that care. It's about an 80% increase in efficiency, and also getting access to all the benefits and care that they need. Again, by just integrating these systems, modernizing these systems, and then actually helping our clients and organizations and agencies build that foundational data estate, so this way they can actually start advancing the services they're providing to their citizens.
Thank you for sharing that, Joe. I think it's so important to understand the impact of our services and our solutions, because this actually impacts people's day-to-day lives. And it's a privilege to get the opportunity to be in this position to provide these services, to ensure that we prioritize the needs of society. And it's very mission oriented, it's very mission focused. So thank you for those examples, and just thank you for the work that you're doing. Can we transition a little bit towards what the future may look like? And more specifically, of course, as we speak about, well, our conversations today are very much centered around AI, right? And enabling the evolution of the workforce, and transforming the digital workplace. What are you seeing as you engage with customers, as you identify use cases and solutions that would drive mission critical workloads? How is AI being integrated into these conversations and into your solutions?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Chris, I'll take this one first and then hand it off. So the way I look at this is in a few different stages. So the first stage is building agents and actually automating tasks, right? And I'll start off by saying that what's specialized eventually becomes commoditized. So, you see a lot of organizations, taking pride in building a particular agent, a particular task. However, with all of the technologies that, Microsoft's brought to market, this is quickly going to be democratized, where anybody could build an agent. Anybody can, automate a task very, very simply with Copilot Studio, with et cetera. So that's one piece of it, is building, an agent to solve a task. Now, when you look at business processes, that's when you have multiple agents integrating with one another and orchestrating with one another. That's where there's going to be a lot of focus right now, and there is a lot of focus with our conversation with our clients, where you're actually automating an end-to-end business process through AI with these, super agents, or what we call digital workers. So now this is where there's more complexity, there's more integrations, there's more compliance, there's more security, governance required, et cetera. But that's kind of step two. Step three, and we look at it, and this is where we go back to the question of what if your 50% of your workforce was actually a digital workforce? So now imagine that you're actually integrating all of these digital workers across your organization, to the point where you have, say, 50,000, 60,000 different types of digital workers. Just as you have to onboard a human worker, you need to train them, you need to manage the performance of them. Eventually, humans retire. Same concept for digital workers, right? So you have that, think of it like a digital HR concept, where you need to onboard digital workers, you need to train the digital workers, you need to manage the performance and the value and the output of those digital workers, make sure that they're doing it safely, compliantly, et cetera. And then how do you actually manage that at scale? So that's really where we're having a lot of conversations, which are really interesting with our customers, is how do we get them to that end journey where they need to be in 3, 5, 10 years, managing a digital workforce at scale integrated with their human workforce.
And Joe, I'd add to that from a SLED industry perspective, a few comments. I think obviously, government has been a little bit slow adopters, but I think we're now in second gear, moving into third gear from an AI adoption perspective standpoint. Clearly, we're moving from experimentation to clear mission impact, right? So moving from POCs into I know this can work. Let's apply it where it can make the most benefit. So that's kind of point number one. Governance, as you said, is key to scaling efforts and also providing the appropriate guardrails. You see a lot of state CIOs coming out with AI frameworks, AI governance rules, et cetera, that agencies would have to follow. Same thing at the large cities and counties as well. Augmentation versus automating judgment. You will still likely have to have a human at the helm, right, to some degree, to validate, make some important business decisions. Depends on the business process scope that you're talking about. Data and AI working jointly together. There's a lot of things around data that still need to get addressed from a cleanliness, timeliness, master data management perspective standpoint. And then lastly, IBM prides itself on transparency and trust, and that will unlock the potential of AI in the future. And that's kind of the guardrails that we live by every day. And I think the industry will as well.
What's the course of action here? As we think about how to identify when we should bring IBM to the conversation and when we should leverage IBM services and solutions. What should our Microsoft sellers be aware of? And also, what should potential customers be aware of to make them realize this is the perfect opportunity to engage with the one Microsoft practice team at IBM?
Joe, let me start off and then you can add to it, because I think you've got some good data points on at a field level, how we can make things work. But
Sure.
I think the way I would think about this is, the IBM Consulting team brings domain expertise in some specific areas: health and human services, transportation, digital services, cloud modernization, and certainly analytics and AI. But we're a team that blends business process transformation with technology, right? And where there's business problems that you think I need to bring both together, we're the core team and subject matter experts that you can rely on, that will be trusted with your client base, trusted with you as a partner. IBM is revolutionizing our approach with ecosystem partners, and you'll see that in engagement. But Joe, you want to elaborate and add to that?
Yeah, I would just say that the fact that there is a one Microsoft practice within IBM Consulting just speaks volumes to the strategic partnership across our organizations, Microsoft and IBM. So this is a huge move, right? And this shows the alignment that we have and how much IBM is leaning into this partnership. So we have a great partnership with Microsoft, and we have both from sponsorship at the executive level as well as ensuring all of our account teams are connected. And it's great when they partner together. So they're kind of sharing what they're hearing from the customer, the needs, the challenges, the problems that they're trying to solve. So this way we can take the best of the best from all the worlds, right? So Microsoft has a certain lens in which they're looking at through things. IBM Consulting has a different lens. So making sure the right hand's talking to the left hand to make sure that we're ultimately driving the most impact and value for our customers is really the secret ingredient. So just I would just encourage everybody, where we're engaged together across the United States, make sure that we're speaking to each other, we're sharing information, and we're actually collaborating to ultimately drive the most impact to our customers.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. What parting words do you have for us? Like, how would you want to conclude this great conversation?
I would have a simple statement. Let's win together in 2026 and make a huge, to your earlier point, Bayou, our mission statement as an industry team is it's about the impact we make on our clients and the impact that they make on the clients that they serve. And that's exactly the point you talked about earlier. It's about impact, but we have so much alignment between our teams about our mission focus, right? And that's the great foundation to build on to win successfully together. But Joe?
So, Bio, so thanks again for having us here today. This has been awesome to be part of this podcast with you. I would conclude with this. Are today's processes built for the volume, speed, and expectations for tomorrow's citizens? So, as we think about this partnership between IBM, Microsoft, and this one Microsoft practice within IBM Consulting, we are here to really help prepare our clients, state, local government, and education clients across the United States, to really prepare for the experiences that citizens are going to be expecting of them in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So it's a really exciting time to be in this, and honestly, couldn't be more thrilled to be part of this journey with everybody.
Joe, Chris, thank you so much for your time. I'm super excited. I've been watching the evolution of our partnership, both firsthand and from afar as well too. And we're doing a lot of great work together. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for the work that we've been doing together. And I look forward to growing and providing our customers, our partners, with the services that enables them to carry out their mission critical work. So thanks for your time today and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Bio.
Thank you.